Out then. Greg, take it out. It's going to confuse. This is Outlaws, your host for Advice for Life, and here we are again. As you know, we come together every Tuesday evening at 8:30. We gather our audience, our friends, everybody from social media. We come together, we create our own audience, our own stage, and we chat live, and we talk about your relationship questions. And we also have discussion, and we've been doing some mighty discussions. Our topic has been how do men and women, or how should men and women show up in relationship? And today we're dealing with a very complex issue. But first, again, my name is Al Laws. I'm the host for Advice for Life, and my wife Aisha Laws.
Hello.
And so Aisha is actually going to be supporting us in this series that we're doing, and of course our co-host Greg Harris.
Hey everyone.
So Greg, I need you to get on your pad and start monitoring, welcoming our folks, and let them see your face as you check in. You know how to dive in there to do that. So who we got, Greg?
And we have hello from D Flowers. That is our very own Delia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't want you to say her name. That's why she got.
And need everybody else to chime in.
Okay,
everybody chime in.
They're chiming in. I see people coming in. So, yeah. So I'm seeing some thumbs up and some hearts. Look, this is how it's going to work for those of you who been here for the first time. We actually record our live radio show during this time, and what we will do is we'll have two parts. So this first part, you'll hear us as we finish the first part of our radio show, and then we will cut off actually at the end of that first part we will take questions. So as you're going through, give us your questions and type out also comments and encouragements. And you do those things. And so we'll interact with you. If you have questions, we'll take those at the end of the first program and also at the end of the second program. We will stop this recording. We will start a second recording, and then we will do the same thing again.
Yeah, Al, we have Kentel Foster. She says, hello, family, ready to be helped.
Good. I like when people are ready.
Hello.
I like when people are ready.
Ready to be helped.
Thank you, Ken.
That's funny.
I like when people are ready.
Yes.
You're going to get some help today because we're going to have, we had a very interesting caller that called in. Her name was Lisa, and we were talking about her marital situation and how it actually became actually her husband, from her description, zapped out when she confronted him with cheating. And so that was a way that he was expressing whatever his thoughts and feelings were about that encounter. And that's the way he showed up. But of course, we're going to teach you skills to teach you how to show up properly in relationship. Remember, part of what we're doing is we're looking at our awareness and our awareness wheel. And our awareness wheel is really about looking at our intentions, looking at our thoughts, our feelings, and how those relate to our behaviors and how they affect our behaviors. And so intentions are very important to understand. We talk about that a lot. Again, if you have not listened to our podcast, you need to go to www.adviceforlife. Again, www.adviceforlife.us. And you can go into the podcast, and what you'll find is probably an array, 60 to 70 programs that we've done in the past. And a lot of those things break down the fundamentals of what we covered for relationship. We'll begin and probably go over those series items again, but I'm telling you, it's going to bless you if you go back and you listen to the podcast. If you like the podcast, please repost them. Give us, let people know that you like it. Share it. I'm still trying to get my 50 shares, so I need you to continue to share if this program blesses you. And we're going to get into it at some point. But first, I want to connect to what happened with this caller, Lisa. And, Aisha, you had some thoughts about, that whole encounter when Lisa was describing how she had actually been physically assaulted by her husband and just the whole journey that she was describing about that interaction in that pool. So I just wanted you to chime in.
Yeah, well, I was sharing that the mask. We all wear a mask. And what do we do when someone either makes accusations that don't agree with what mask we're wearing, or someone snatches the mask completely off of us?
Wait a minute. Now, see, you're getting too good now. So I'm going to start the program.
Look, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, we need to record this.
Okay, so y'all, I'm sorry.
I'll do that again.
Yeah, so I'm going to cut it off.
I was trying to wait until he did.
You guys are live, and when you do live things, it's a little different when you record. So you get to see that. So we're going to start our music for our live program, so we can start recording, and then we'll get right into it. And I love the thumbs up and the hearts and the love. Thank you so much. Any special comment that came out while we break?
Michael Pullum said, "Hi all from Orlando, Florida."
We just had dinner with Mike and his family. So Mike, it's good to hear from you, man. So let's get started.
This is Advice for Life with Al Laws, CEO of Win Family Services, here in Baltimore, Maryland. Here on Advice for Life, we're discovering exciting ways to make our relationships better. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back to get into today's program.
Ready?
He said almost.
So we're starting now. We get technical. We got to find our spot where we landed. And
Here we are with another show, and Al, we are excited because we are really getting proficient and well at doing this Facebook Live thing. And to our listening audience, we want you to be a part. But first, we always want to invite our listeners to call in and share with us your story or a comment. Call us at 410-578-8004. Leave your information and we will get back to you. Also, check out our website at www.advice4life.us. Check out the podcast tab and you will see our array of shows. And Al, let me tell you, we have over 70 shows on our website, and we have had over 5,000 hits.
Nice.
And so, hey, be a part of that family. Come in, check out the website, and have access to our shows. And most of all, as I just shared earlier, our Facebook Live day. Our Facebook Live is Tuesday evenings at 8:30. Join in and be a part of our Facebook community, Facebook Live, where you have the opportunity to see Al in action live. And during this time, we also have our most wonderful and fabulous Aisha Laws. Right, Al?
Absolutely. Hey, Aisha, how you doing?
Excellent. How's everyone?
Yeah, doing great. This is exciting. We're doing a lot with the interactions. I've got a lot of good responses from both people who are listening on the radio. All the time, people are telling me that they're hearing us and being blessed by it. And actually, when we're doing the Facebook Live, 8:30 every Tuesday, 8:30. I get a lot of people saying that they're chiming in, they're listening and viewing the recording, so they get to see it as well. So it's really been a blessing. So as you know, last week we started a process with a caller, Lisa, and it was a very heart-wrenching process that we were experiencing with her as she was talking about what was going on in her marriage and the struggles that were happening between her and her husband, and even the fact that it got to a place that it became physical, that she was actually physically assaulted as a dynamic of that encounter with her husband, or those encounters with her husband. And so we had a lot of things that we were giving Lisa, and we want to continue that. We're going to bring Lisa on a little later on, but I really wanted my wife, because after we got done, I mean, she started pouring out this this stuff with me in the car, and I said, wait, you should have said that on the program. Like,
Right.
So now I just want to give her an opportunity to kind of give reflections and give some more advice to Lisa and to our viewing and listening audience.
Well, we were talking about the mask and how everyone has a mask, which is the image that we desire to project to all the outside world.
Right.
And what do we do when someone makes accusations against us that are different than the image that we desire to project? Or what do we do when someone actually snatches the mask right off of us and we are naked?
Wow.
What do we do then? How are we going to respond? And some people do respond with anger, and they become violent because they don't want to be seen. They are vulnerable now, so they fight back as if they're in war.
Right.
It's a war now.
Right.
So that is my reflection from what we heard last week, that the mask was either broken, torn away.
Wow.
Something happened with that mask that caused a violent response.
Now it's very interesting because, I mean, we as believers are supposed to be exposed and open before God and man. Like, that is the very nature and the foundation of believing. And I think it's very interesting. And I think even if a person is not a believer, I think most people don't want to move in their existence with people with a mask. However, we all do it. We all are so concerned about our image.
Wow.
And how people see us,
Yeah.
and whether they will receive it. I believe at the heart of it is that we want people to like us and love us.
Absolutely.
You know, think about it. I mean, the whole thing with Facebook, and that is about, you know, people having friends and their friends liking them.
Absolutely.
Or giving a heart to say that they love them. And it's almost like this hidden, you know, almost Facebook almost creates a mask for you in a certain way.
Right.
And so what happens is that we get used in our society to presenting things to people that are not really who we are. Now, I think there's a balance. Now, of course, you know, when people take their pictures on Facebook, they don't always look like that. they're gonna put on the
I love it.
They're gonna put on the
love
best face. They're gonna put on the best angle. Of course, you're gonna do that because you want to always present yourself in the best
In
light,
the best image.
So it makes sense. We want to show up, and we go out. We dress up, we make up, we do all these things to make sure that we, you know, look a certain way. We have certain etiquettes.
Absolutely.
And how we respond to people. We try to be polite. So yes, if we're mad that day, no, we don't just show up and say, this is just how I am. I don't have no mask on. I'm gonna just tell you exactly how I feel. And we get raw with people. No, there's a balance. It's a balance between just being raw and uncouth and putting on the mask. And what I'm really saying, I'm connecting with what Aisha's saying, is that when we have this mask on, we are trying to protect something.
Absolutely.
We are trying to hide aspects of ourselves, which in a relationship makes it very difficult, because if two people are wearing masks, like they're at a masquerade party, and they're not willing to at least say, "You got I got a mask on," and the other person's going to say that it becomes an issue.
Well, quite frankly, if you ever worn a mask at one of those masquerade parties, everybody wears them for about 40 minutes, and then they're all on the table.
They take them off.
Because they're uncomfortable.
Yes.
And masks are uncomfortable in real life. Everybody is clamoring for a real relationship.
Right.
People want real relationships,
Yes.
because when you have that, and you have that ability to trust someone, then finally you can take the mask off. Finally, you can take the mask off. You feel safe enough to take that mask off.
Absolutely.
Because it's uncomfortable in real life.
It's uncomfortable.
The key word that you said there is safe. So when you don't feel safe, then people have this decision to make. It's uncomfortable, but it's the safest I can be. So guess what? I'm safe with this irritation, with this pain, with this awareness that this isn't really me, but it's being accepted. I'm being accepted.
Absolutely.
See, acceptance is huge.
Right. But guess what? That's an illusion. Because
there you go, Al. Yeah.
when you're at a masquerade party and you have a mask on, you ain't fooling anybody. everybody knows who you are underneath. They see you.
Right.
And you might have this thought that you're, that people don't see who you are, but they know who you are. It's almost like, I always cracked up about Superman and Clark Kent, and he would wear these
Right.
rimmed glasses.
Me too, Al.
And he's there around all these people, and all of a sudden Lois Lane can't figure out who this man is when he takes the glasses off. Like somehow those glasses really disguise him.
He changed his hair a
Yeah,
little
he
bit.
slicked his hair on the opposite side. He just changed it from the left to the right. I mean,
Me too, Al.
so it's almost like we have to get to a point that, see, God says that all things are open and exposed to him and whom we have to deal with. It also says that whatever is hidden in the dark, the scriptures say, eventually will come to the light.
To the light.
And so our work, and the reason why family strengthening is so important is because when we look at our process, when we're able to own our process and be willing to look at our process, it helps us see how much mask we have on, because sometimes we don't even recognize how much of a mask that we put on. Sometimes we have layers of mask.
Yes.
And we think because we looked at one part of it and we took that, whoo, that felt good. Now, we got about 5 other layers of mask underneath that we have not been
Right.
willing to look at. And so when people expose our mask, when people do things that really bring exposure to us, we have these very extreme responses to it, because it's almost like, who is that person? And it's like they said that sometimes some animals, if they look into a mirror, they will start fighting the mirror because they don't know that it is them that they're looking at.
Absolutely. It's like the woman at the well. The mask was ripped right from her.
Right.
She didn't respond violently. She was like, wow.
Right.
You told me everything I've done. So everyone has a choice on how they respond. But when we're in the midst of the Lord, we need to respond appropriately.
Right. So in our relationships, this is part of what I want you to get. In our relationships, when we really understand the awareness wheel, meaning that when we understand that we have to start every encounter with looking at intentions. And those of you who have been following me, you understand that the way you are successful at looking at both the intentions of another person and looking at the intentions for yourself is that you have to extract the precious from the worthless. That means that you have to find the good. Now, that doesn't mean that it's all good. It doesn't mean that everything that you're experiencing. In fact, sometimes it means most of what you're experiencing is not good. That's what I commended Lisa for when we were talking to her. Even though she was physically assaulted in the midst of that situation, somehow, that's one of the most heinous things that somebody can experience. Somehow Lisa still was able to extract and find some good in the midst of that. I thought that was very amazing.
Awesome. Yes, it
that
was.
she could do it. And then when I asked her, I said, what do you believe his intentions were? She was able to clearly talk about, in a very calm way, in a very fair way, a fair-minded way, what she thought her husband's intentions were. Even though his behavior was bizarre, even though his behavior was unacceptable and reprehensible, she still was able to say, I saw what his intention was, even though I'm totally against, and I totally, repudiate his actions.
Absolutely.
And then once you deal with intentions, then you can go into looking at what a person's thoughts were. So that's what we were stepping through with Lisa. We were looking at the awareness wheel, the intentions, the thoughts, and then what the feelings are. So when you get to the feeling level, it really allows you to really understand and hone in on what the person is really trying to give in that encounter. So feelings, really, a lot of our masks that we put on are really connected to those hidden feelings, those feelings that we have not really communicated, those feelings that have stayed resident within us a long time, meaning that if we have been injured and somebody has violated our trust for in the past, we may show up in the next relationship with the mask of this distrust, but we won't tell the person, I really have problems with trusting, I distrust you. We'll go around and we'll find reasons to blame and to point the finger. But really, it's really us. It's really us really not dealing with the fact that we don't trust the person. And it's okay to tell the person, I have mistrust. I mistrust you. It is not your fault.
Right.
I'm owning it that it's my fault. I am the person that's dealing with trust. And so I think that helps the other person learn that they should not get to a point that they give them a reason to distrust.
I absolutely believe that trust is something to be earned.
Right.
Love is something that you are to give to all.
Okay.
Trust is something that each must earn.
Yes.
Everyone must earn that.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, I think it's safe for you to build a wall until you trust someone. Just make certain that you know how to get out. You can't bury yourself in behind a wall, behind a mask that you yourself are trapped in.
Right.
However, that doesn't mean that you can throw your pearls to pigs.
Right.
So
I think, and my reflection on that would be that ultimately we have to trust God.
absolutely.
Because if we trust God, we don't have to worry about what someone else will do or can do to us, because we know that really our trust is in Him, and so we will respond appropriately. So I understand what you're saying about, being careful and making sure that you protect yourself and not just, give somebody, full access to who you are without them going through a vetting process. But my philosophy is that you should show up healed and whole.
Absolutely.
So that I start out with people with 100%. So you have 100% of my trust starting out, not maybe 100% access to who I am fully, but you have 100% of my trust until you show and prove that you are untrustworthy. And so when you're in relationships, and I'm saying this to men and women, when you give people reasons and give them signs, and you give them places where you show not to be untrustworthy, or you show to be untrustworthy, they see that mask on your face. You should not be surprised when the person has concerns, or when the person is questioning you, when the person is trying to hold you accountable at another level. You shouldn't be surprised. And that's what happens in relationships, is that sometimes when we don't want to be accountable and we have that mask of unaccountability, we enter into conflict.
Right.
And we hide. And that person sees us hiding behind that mask, and we try to tell them, you know how people try to make you feel like you're crazy. Some of give me some hearts there on my Facebook family. Some people try to make you feel like you're crazy, but we're going to deal some more about relationship and how to show up, how men and women should show up. We're going to do more of that
on the way to church. Hold on, everybody, because we're going to be right back.
Oh, the hearts are going. You said what?
I was talking.
Oh, the hearts are going. Everybody liked that piece about about people making you feel like you're crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna bring Lisa on our second part. So let's queue up and make sure Lisa's good.
Lisa, you there?
Testing. Lisa, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you turn her up in my headphones?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, say some more, Lisa.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I need some more.
She's
Put it on your earband.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great.
Great. Okay.
Okay.
So Facebook Live family, we're trying to work out technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience. So we're about to start back up. Actually, no, we're going to do our questions, because as I told you, what happens is that because Facebook only gives us a limited amount of time, we are going to have to stop this program and start another one. Now, a lot of you, please come back, be with us. I need you to be part of this. We're going to bring Lisa on. She's going to be on live. Lisa is the caller that we had from our previous program. And guess what? I got a surprise for you. You don't want to miss this. This has something to do with her husband. You don't want to miss what I'm getting ready to say about this. Trust me, because we actually had contact with her husband. So you don't want to miss what I'm going to give you on this. So I'm going to just let Greg, if he can show his face in. And
hey, everybody, how you doing?
And Greg, if you can.
I'm 50 years old now.
Yeah, you did. You turned 50. Congratulations, brother.
Yes.
So comments and questions.
Okay, so we have, let's see, Kentel Foster. Let's see, what did she just say? I forgot my glasses. I've pondered. I know. I've pondered in many instances. Can you ever truly earn someone's? Okay, here I go. Where Whoa.
Nice. Now you
That's
just-
nice.
Okay.
I've pondered in many instances, can you ever truly earn someone's trust? No matter how many hoops and hurdles you conquer on an individual's behalf, they may never decide to genuinely trust you.
I think that's true, but that is their decision. I believe that trust can be earned if you keep your word. Say
Right.
what you're going to do and do what you say.
Right.
And that's how you get
Right.
someone's
And,
trust.
and you're right that sometimes that it is all, none of us are perfect. We all fall short of the glory of God. We all fall short. We all miss it. And so, yes, it can be difficult if you, it depends on how you're defining trust. Now, trust does not mean that a person is perfect. So if you believe that trust means the person has to be perfect, then you have a wrong definition of trust. Trust is that a person is showing up and they are open to expose and be accountable
Right.
to who they are. So even when they mess up
Right,
with something,
right.
you can trust that they are going to deal with it. And even if you have to struggle through dealing with it, that you can trust that there's going to be accountability that happens there. Trust is really about, as my wife just said, you saying what you mean and meaning what you say.
Meaning what you say.
I mean, is that straightforward? And sometimes, look, let's say one of your mess ups is that you lied.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know. Nobody gonna show me hearts and thumbs up to say that you lied before. We all have lied. We all have lied. And so when we are caught or when we are confronted with lying, the question is, do we have a place that we actually repent and that we see and change and are willing to own that process and say, I lied? You know, you got people who lie and then they cover it up with a lie,
Right,
and then
right.
they got to lie about the lie,
About
the
lie
lie.
about-
You
and
can
then
show them a picture of what they did, and they'll still say, that's not me.
That wasn't
that's
me.
the doctor.
that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Right.
So people, you can see it. You know, they have those shows, Cheaters, and I remember we were looking at when me and my wife look at that. We love looking at that show because
Right.
it just shows how people
What show did you say?
cheaters.
Cheaters.
Oh, okay.
Because what it shows that people will lie. And this girl got caught, and she had a fiance, and the guy was about to marry her, and they were planning their wedding, and she was caught on film, and she would lie. She was lying and kept saying, "No, that's not true." They
just
showed her
friends.
the pictures and says, "We're just friends."
That's
And-
not me.
And she kept, yeah, that's somebody else.
Wow.
So that's the depth of how a mask can be stuck on our
Right.
face, and we sometimes want to take it off, but it's so much adhesive, and sometimes some people have it screwed into their
Wow.
into their
Ooh, that's
skeleton.
vivid.
Yeah.
And they can't really. They want to take it off, but they can't take off that mask, and so sometimes they just resolve to the fact that
It's
I'm
me.
just going to live with this
I'm just
mask.
right.
I'm just going to flow with what I got, and guess what? They find that sometimes the mask works for them. And so they always remember and have the memory of what has worked for them. But what they don't know is when they remove that mask, that God will free their heart, that they will be so clear. When you're not lying anymore, you don't have to try to remember what you said. When you're being authentic and truthful to people, you don't have to worry about where you're going. You don't care if somebody's checking your phone. You don't care. Listen, my wife has full access to me because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me, because if she needs that to be comfortable, then go ahead and be comfortable with that. Because ultimately what I'm going to challenge her to say is that you have to trust God.
Absolutely.
Ultimately, you can't trust me as a man. Now I'm going to fall short,
Right.
but hopefully I get to a place that she's seen me in a process long enough that she knows that I'm going to do what I say and I'm going to say what I do. Yes.
Yes, Dr. Warren.
Yes,
Jackson.
my brother.
Yes.
Yes, I just reconnected with him. We were friends in college. It was a lot of years. That's one thing I like about Facebook.
He's
'cause of that.
right. He said accountability is a major part of a solid relationship.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Accountability, being able to be honest and own your process, being vulnerable to one another.
When you were sharing about the mask, honey, it made me feel like people. There are people that don't really know they're wearing a mask anymore. Once they've screwed it on, it becomes like they believe it's there. It's them. It is their face now.
Right.
That's the only thing they know.
Right.
Right. We have a hello from Irie Francis Williams.
Yes.
Heidi, my
from
sister.
Australia. She's
That's
from
my
Yeah, she says from
sister.
down
So
under.
y'all see on this Facebook, this is what's so powerful. We got somebody
Heidi.
coming in, loving on us, giving us hearts, and asking questions from Australia.
Yeah, Rodney Burris says hello.
Yes, nice.
Yeah, so someone says unmasking is what she calls heart exfoliation.
Yes,
Oh,
nice.
I love
I like that. Yeah, everybody use that heart exfoliation.
Exfoliation.
Like,
Right,
it's
Kentel
from-
Foster shared that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
people
so-
are vibing.
Yes. So you guys, listen. You got to come back. Lisa's gonna come back on with us. So we're gonna cut this particular program off, and then we're gonna start a new one. So you don't want to miss it again. There's gonna be some really powerful things. You're gonna love Lisa because she is just open and willing to deal with what's going on with her. And look, what do you do if you really want to know? What do you do if your mate zaps out when you confront them about what they're dealing with, and how do you recover from that, and how do you use the awareness wheel and skills that we're teaching? How do you find good in their intentions, and how are you able to try to extract what their true feeling is, even though what they're giving you is worthless? Remember, that's one of my key phrases: extracting the precious from the worthless. God says, then you can become my spokesman. So that's what I want you to do. You're going to learn that. You're going to learn more skills about improving your relationship. So join us again for the second part. Don't miss it. Trust me, you do not want to miss the second part. We love you, and God bless. We'll be right back. Hearts.